Notes for all you lovely people. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well. So for recurring viewers of this channel, you already know what's up, but if you're pretty new here, I need a brief explanation. It's nothing real complicated, really. The whole entire concept of this video is that I constantly draw my characters in romantic situations and then say that they aren't dating, because none of them are dating, I swear. So it's kind of a running joke on this channel about how certain characters of mine are secretly dating, but they're not actually secretly dating, but everyone thinks that they are because I keep drawing them as if they are. And so I thought that this would be a fun little video to do for this week because it's getting closer to Valentine's Day. Also, not too long ago, I posted a picture to Instagram of two of the characters who may or may not be in this video. In that caption, I said to talk about all the characters that aren't dating, which may or may not have been intentional for this video. It wasn't intentional, I just decided to go back to that post when I decided to make this video. But let's pretend like it was some super secretive work on my part. So the characters that I decided to draw in this video are a combination of comments from that post and then also just things that I've seen on my channel over the couple of years that I've been doing YouTube for. And I know I ramble on way too much for way too long, so I'm just gonna get into the video now. The first pair of characters I have is Jeremy and Remy, who are the newest bunch in this whole little joke. I don't know what to call this. Although, to be fair, this one isn't really my fault, because you guys started shipping them together before I've drawn them together at all. So, you can't blame me for this one. This one was all on you guys. I think the main reason people started liking them together is because their sort of dynamic is popular within fictional couples, because they kind of hate each other. Which I think says a lot about us as people. People tend to love the whole, like, two people hate each other and then eventually grow closer and grow feelings for each other thing. And I'm guilty of that too. I'm not just making fun of you guys, I'm also making fun of myself. Since they are the newest pair, I thought that would be a nice pairing to start this video off with. I think this piece took me, it was either the longest or the second longest, I can't quite remember, but it took me quite a bit of time because it was the first one that I was making and I wanted all of these to look like they were part of a set. And whenever I make a video that has multiple drawings in it, I try to make them look like a set. And so for this one, I really took the time to figure out what kind of style I was going for. When I say style, I don't necessarily mean like the art style, just more of like consistencies and small details that I will carry over to other ones. For all of these drawings, I used the same color line art and then the same colors for shading and highlights. And I don't do any color overlays, which is a big shocker. I know. Don't worry, guys. I'm feeling okay. I liked how this first one looked without the color overlay, so I decided to leave it out. So I do color overlays in all of my drawings, but for these ones, since I was drawing a bunch of different characters which would have different color schemes, I decided to just forget it because I wouldn't want the color overlay to be the same colors, but depending on which characters were underneath the overlay, it might affect the colors differently. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm really bad at words, but I hope you understand what I mean. I didn't want to have like a set color scheme for the overlay and then have it look awesome for a pair of characters, but then have it not look awesome and in fact look pretty bad for another pair of characters. So I decided to just forget it. I've done color overlays in drawing sets before. I think the last time I used a bunch of different color overlays and I wasn't super satisfied with that, so I figured it was something that I would leave out this time. Aside from taking a while to figure out what kind of theme I wanted to have in all these drawings, this drawing was pretty easy for me to make. I didn't really have a whole lot of difficulties making it. In fact, like, it was quite easy to make for me. I've been drawing a lot of Remy lately, so that's probably why, but I have a lot of fun drawing these characters. Remy is one of my newest characters, and Jeremy is my oldest character, along with Aurora. It makes me really happy that you guys show them a lot of love, because they mean a lot to me. When I thought of this pose for these two, I really liked the idea, and so I ran with it, because if these two were in a relationship, not that they are in a relationship because they're not in a relationship, but if they were in a relationship, Remy would definitely be the more like open, kind of bold one, I guess. She would be the one who'd be like, yeah, look at us, we here, we really out here, and then Jeremy would be the more like flustered, like, if you know him, he's an angsty boy. He's just one angsty boy. So he wouldn't really be all about that. So I thought that this really captured that perfectly. I really like the way that this one turned out, and I think that it was definitely a great start for the rest of the drawings. Next up, we have Rory and Mabel, and unlike the last one, this one I am absolutely guilty of. This is the one that this is one of the OGs. This is one that I drew often, and you guys really want to strangle me over. And I really like the way that this one turned out. Off the top of my head, I can't really pick a fave, but this one's definitely up there. I really like it. I like the pose, I like the shading and everything about it. I love the way that it turned out. Lily, are you just gonna try and cry in all of my videos? Is that your goal? Is that your mission? Don't just look at me like you're doing nothing wrong. My subscribers will hear about this. I'm leaving this in the video. Oh my god. Don't sass me. Similar to the last one, the moment I came up with this pose, I just fell in love with it. This one was a lot harder for me to draw than the last one though, which is weird because they both involve people being lifted up, which is my issue with this one because I don't draw these kind of poses often, but I don't know. The last one was just easier. This one's like a much different kind of lifting up. This one was a lot harder for me to draw because out of all of the lifty, uppy poses, this is one that I draw like never, so it was a bit of a hard time, but I was able to figure it out, and in the end I think it looks quite nice. Rory herself was easy to draw because she's basically just standing there, like leaning back a little bit. It was mostly Mabel that was giving me a hard time. I figured it out. But other than the pose, this one was really easy for me to draw too. These are two characters that I draw very often. I think that they're some of my most drawn characters. They're just really fun for me to draw, so it was pretty easy once I was able to figure out the pose and everything. I had a lot of fun drawing Rory's hair, as always, and I think it was really fun to revisit their main outfits because, oh my god. Come sit on my lap. It'll make you happy. You can sit on my lap. All of my OCs have one main outfit. Many of them have multiple different outfits that you'll see me draw them in, but every single one of them, if they have multiple outfits, they'll have one main outfit that's like their character identifying outfit. And those are the outfits that I drew for all of the characters in this video. Okay, you can jump off my lap acting like you weren't just begging to come on my lap, but oh my god. Some characters I draw in their main outfit very, very often, but these characters I don't actually do that. I really like drawing them in different outfits. And I love coming up with different outfits for them because they're just fun characters for me to draw. It was really fun for me to revisit their original, like, identifying outfit. I didn't realize how good their main outfits kind of go together because they both have, like, a blue color scheme. I guess, like, Rory has blacks and grays, but oh wait, so does Mabel's. Damn it, they match. I didn't mean to do that. After I drew this one, I really got excited for making the other ones. Like, of course I was excited about this entire idea because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be making this video right now, but this one, after I drew this one, I just adored the way it turned out. And so it just made me more motivated to draw the other ones. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this drawing other than here you go. They're here. There's the gals, the in-gals. The next pairing is Sawyer and Cairo from the same universe as Rory and Mabel, and I was surprised with how much these two came up. I don't think I've ever drawn them together romantically, so I don't know how accountable I am for this one, but people have liked them together for a while, but I was surprised at how much they came up on that Instagram post I mentioned earlier. I wasn't expecting people to like them together so much. It's really funny that so many people like them together, considering what I originally made these characters for, because there's this whole, like, side plot about Sawyer liking a girl, but then that didn't happen, and then he was just, like, a straight bro with Cairo, and they were just straight bros together. And now look what you guys have done. That whole storyline isn't a part of the story anymore, but it's really funny seeing people ship these characters together. These are characters that I don't draw as often, so it was fun to draw them. I don't remember the last time I've made finished illustrations with either of them in it, actually, so drawing the pose for this one was a little bit difficult. Is that just the theme of this video? Poses are hard. they're like sitting on something, but also not really. Like, obviously there's nothing there because I didn't draw it, but it's as if they were sitting on something, so it was hard to make it look like they were sitting on something. If you're going to draw a character fake sitting on something like this, I would recommend drawing like a box or something for them to sit on, which I did not do, which would have made this easier. And I also had a difficult time drawing Sawyer's arm, because the pose that I had in mind, Cairo was sort of coddling Sawyer, I guess you could say, but Sawyer, being the type of person he is, isn't really about that, and so he was trying to like shove him away with his elbow, but because of the way that I angled the picture, you couldn't really see Sawyer's arm that was like supposed to be shoving Cairo away. You can see it peeking out from the bottom part of Cairo's arm, but I wish that I had angled this picture a little bit differently just to show that part off a little bit more. I think that there was a way that I could have made that a little bit more clear. I also had a little bit of a hard time with Cairo's hands. I don't draw hands grabbing cheeks often because why would I? But I think I could have made it look a little bit better by like using references and stuff. Which, I don't know if I've said it on this channel before, but I will say it again. I always say to use references, but then I never use references, so do not follow in my footsteps and use references. Because I think that that could have helped me a lot with this one. But other than that, I really like this one. I really like how all of these turned out, which I'm really happy about. It's always a good feeling to be happy with your art. Also, because it's been a long time since I've drawn these two, I had a hard time drawing Sawyer's hair. I feel like his hair, it's always pretty inconsistent, and I feel like every single time I draw him it looks a little bit different, but what are you gonna do other than actually draw your characters often? I will never do that. I think that the main thing that I really wanted to get across in all of these is the personality of each character, because each character has a personality like on their own and how they are just as an individual, but then things can get a little bit different when you start thinking about them as a unit, because we all can be different people slightly depending on who we're around. Like, we're still the same person all the time, but depending on who we're around, those different people can bring out different parts of us. And so I wanted to kind of show that with these drawings. Like, for example, Sawyer's not one to receive attention, and honestly Cairo isn't really one to be so like, I don't want to say attention giving, but like, I used the word coddling earlier. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm gonna use it anyway. He's not generally the type of person to do that, but with Sawyer he is. Even like on a platonic level, he's just someone that he cares a lot about and is very like external about that. So that's something that I really tried to capture with these drawings, and I think that this one does it really well. Next up we have Cass and Asim, and these are characters that I haven't seen people shipping together super often, probably because I never draw them. But I remember when I first made the video introducing them to the world, a lot of people started shipping them, and I got a lot of comments about people shipping them, so I thought that they would be another fun couple to include in here. I don't draw these characters super often. I mostly draw the main characters of my story, and these two are more of like supporting / minor characters. Plus, like with my webcomic and everything, my soon-to-be webcomic, stay tuned for, I don't know, like 5 minutes from now. I don't really draw these characters often, so it was really fun for me to come back and revisit these. For these two, I wanted something kind of chill and serene, because that's who they are as people. They're both just chill, don't like a whole lot of energy, I guess. Because for many of the other characters, they're like late teenagers, and so teenagers are very different from like adults, which these two are. So it's more of just like, if these two were to be in a relationship, it would kind of just be like, hey, I like you, hey, I like you too, let's chill, cool, and then that would be it. For a lot of the other characters in here, it's a lot more dramatic and way too much, honestly, because that's who all my characters are, just way too much. So I just really wanted to capture that side. I thought that it would be a nice change of pace compared to all of the other drawings. This one took me the fastest to draw. I think out of all of my other characters in this, these two have a more simple design, I guess you could say. And also the pose is like, it's a lot more bunched up, so you don't see a lot of the character because they're all like scrunched up next to each other. So it definitely helps to draw when you don't have to draw half the body. Another thing is like color scheme is very simple. Cass's color scheme is basically just browns and warm grays, and then Asim's is very faded pink and then black. So it was really easy for me to color this one and just make it in general. I also low-key forgot Cass's color scheme, but we're gonna just forget about that. Pretend that that never happened and I actually draw my characters and know what they look like. Between the two in this drawing, it was actually Cass that gave me the harder time. I don't remember if I've ever mentioned it on this channel, but the entire reason that I created Cass in the first place was to practice drawing more masculine characters, and for these ones I wanted to have like a more chibi-esque style. I don't really draw like chibis super often, often, but I wanted to have a more simplistic art style with more exaggerated, like, I guess childlike proportions. Since I was going to be making multiple drawings in one video, I just wanted to make it a little bit easier on myself. And that being said, this art style is a contradiction to who Cass is as a person. He's big, bulky, scary looking dude. I always say that he has an intense case of resting bitch face because he does. He looks really scary and masculine and just like scary older brother, because that's who he was meant to be as a character, because I wanted to practice making those kinds of characters. And so when you have a style like this, it makes it a little bit difficult to really capture his personality. So I decided to just embrace it, because if you know anything about Cass, he's very like scary, stern looking and like intimidating, like you don't want to mess with that guy on the outside, but then on the inside he's like super sweet and loving, and I guess kind of has a cute personality, you could say. So I just decided to go with that to suit it a little bit more. It might look a little odd, I think it looks a little odd, but I still really like the end result. And then on the other hand, there's Asim, who fits this style perfectly because she's small and cute even not in this style. So it was really easy to draw her. Very big contrast to Cass, but yeah, I had a lot of fun drawing these two, especially because I don't draw them often. So I hope you like it as much as I do. Next we have Delaney and Lowe from my soon-to-be webcomic, which is what I should be calling it because it's not out yet, and if I don't call it my soon-to-be webcomic, many people are going to be commenting, asking me where it is. It's not out yet. Stay tuned. Please don't. I'm trying my best. This is another one that I was pretty surprised by because, again, I don't draw them together romantically. I think I might be responsible for this though because I made this comic based off of this Vine, so I think that's how it all started, but on that Instagram post I keep mentioning, they came up a lot more often than I thought. Also, side note, so many people call him Lowell, which is his full name, like that's his full first name, but he goes by Lowe and he hates being called by Lowell, so he hates all of me now, but I think it's really funny. Yes, like I said, these are two main characters for my soon-to-be webcomic, and as a result of that, these two, this was a really easy picture for me to make. I know I keep mentioning my webcomic here and there and pretty much every video now that I post, and I keep just saying I'm working on it, and then you guys are like, Oliver, why? I don't say anything about where I am in the process of making it, how soon it is to being out, but just know that I'm working on it a lot behind the scenes, and because of that I draw these two a lot, so this was a really just natural drawing for me. And again, kind of similar to Jeremy and Remy, this is just a dynamic, I guess, that people really like to see in fictional relationships because they hate each other. Delaney, I always call him an asshole, and that's because he is an asshole. He's my flamboyant asshole vampire prince with an ego problem, and I love him. That's just who he is as a character. So he's very like over the top, look at me, I'm the best and I'm incredible. Lowe, on the other hand, he's very like, I don't want to say laid back, but he's a lot more like reserved in what he thinks, and he gets angry a lot because of Delaney, but other than that, he's very like, he doesn't like to draw attention to himself. He and Jeremy are both angsty boys, but Lowe is more like, he's less of an ass about it. These two just really don't get along, and again, I think that's why people really like them. Since these are characters for my soon-to-be webcomic, I had character turn... Lily, we've been over this. Lily! Since these are characters for my soon-to-be webcomic, I had character turnarounds just ready for them because I've been making turnarounds as I go, so I had the exact color swatches for them, which made this process a lot easier. It definitely saved me time in trying to find the right colors. But overall, I think that this picture really sums up their personality and interactions. Delaney's just being over the top, and Lowe being like, I want absolutely nothing to do with this. When I asked you guys what characters of mine you think are not dating, in big air quotes, I was surprised with how much these two came up, but it's also really funny that these two came up a lot considering where I am in the story. I'm not going to say much more about that, I'll just leave it there, but where I am writing the story, I got a good chuckle being able to draw these two. It's oh man. I will let you guys interpret what I meant by that oh man, but it was a laugh. It was funny. One thing about Delaney is that he floats a lot. I really wanted to draw him like floating, so that's what I did. It definitely helped make a little bit more of like a different picture, I guess, because I don't draw romantic pictures a lot. That's The fact that I've drawn many romantic pictures of my characters is the entire reason I'm making this video. But I'm not super creative with, like, relationship poses, I guess. I get a lot of comments often about the types of poses that I make, and I think just as one character, or even as characters interacting, just as friends, it's a lot easier for me, but there's something about, like, romantic poses that I'm not super amazing at. I don't know what I was just starting to say there, but I think that this helped just switch it up a little bit, not feel like I'm running out of ideas. And there we go, those are all the drawings. I hope you enjoyed them. That's all I have for you. Don't look at me like that. I'm not forgetting anyone. This is all there is. There's absolutely no other characters for me to draw in this video. None at all. Okay, fine. Finally, we have Lily crying in my door. Finally, we have the one everyone probably clicked on this video for, the OG not dating pair. Here's Andy and Luca. So this is the one that I get the most shit for. This is the one that I draw the most, and everyone absolutely hates me for it, and everyone's like, why aren't they dating? Let me just, I think, I'll explain to you the origins of this. I know, Lily, it's very dramatic, I know. So within the canon universe of these shits, here's the deal. Here's why this happens. So canonically, in their world, Andy does have feelings for Luca, but Luca is a really oblivious dumbass and doesn't know anything about anything. So that's where this whole thing came up. So there you go. There's the canon thing. They're still not dating, but that's the origins. I don't remember if I've ever said that on my channel, but considering everyone is angry at me for this, I don't think I have. So this is the most infamous on this channel. The most infamous they're not dating. But oddly enough, this was the hardest one out of the bunch for me to draw, which is kind of ironic, I guess. I don't know if it's just because this was the last one that I made, and so I was feeling a little bit burnt out, or if I just subconsciously wanted to move on to something else, but this one took, it was time, man, and not a good time. I had a lot of difficulties drawing this one. So before every drawing you see on this channel, I have a little thumbnail, usually in my sketchbook, but if not, somewhere else. Just a little doodle thumbnail, maybe a couple of what I'm going to be drawing, so I have an idea, so that way when I go in and make the video, it's not an absolute shit show. And the general picture that I made for Andy and Luca is, it's pretty much the same as my thumbnail, but there are some minor differences in, like, Andy's posture, in their pose and everything, so I think that made it difficult in a weird way, because Andy's facial expression in my original thumbnail was different from what you're seeing here, and that's because it worked with the posture and the pose that I made in the thumbnail, but I think those slight changes really had to make Andy's face change, which caused, I struggle a lot. So you'll see me redraw the face over and over and over again. Even by the time I get to the line art phase, I'm redrawing their face, which I never do. I always finalize the sketch and everything before I move on to the line art just to make things easier, but I was just really not happy with the way that their face was turning out. After I made the line art, everything came a lot easier because I just had to slap some colors on there, but I had it was surprisingly difficult for me to make this one. I think this one took me the longest out of all of them now that I'm thinking about it. So for all of the other drawings in here, I finished the sketches within 40 to 50 minutes. But for this one, it took me over an hour just because I really couldn't figure out Andy's face situation. And then I also had a hard time drawing their legs because I had a vision and I couldn't make it happen, which is the summary of all artists ever. I couldn't quite get the angle of their feet right. I think the foot that's moving back I was able to draw a lot easier, but the foot that's supposed to be stepping forward a little bit was a lot more difficult. I needed to draw more people walking. I think that would have helped because they're supposed to be walking a little bit, but you know, it really do be like that, man. But yeah, like I said, after the line art, it really came easy. I didn't have any problems drawing Luca, honestly. Drawing Luca was so much more easy than drawing Andy, which is funny, considering I draw Andy way more, but I think another thing was that I was drawing Rory, and if you don't know my characters, Luca and Rory are twins. That's why they look so similar in terms of, like, hair and face and everything, but they're twins, and so I was able to just color swatch some of Luca's stuff. And I also had another drawing of Luca that I made recently digitally, so I was able to just swatch all of Luca's colors from that. But Andy, I don't have any recent digital art pictures of them. Well, I actually had one, but I deleted the file for that, so I couldn't swatch the colors exactly, but I had to make their colors from scratch, which was just added to the reasons why Andy was so much harder to draw. But I hope you like it. This was the entire reason for this video. You guys wanted it, so here we are. There you go. Enjoy, even though I struggled. Enjoy. Look at my tears. And there we go. There's the drawings. I feel like I end every single video like that with, here we go, there's the drawings, but there we go, there's the drawings. I had a lot of fun making these, and you guys can leave in the comments about how I'm a horrible person for not making them date. Go ahead, I'm ready for them. I dare you to do it. Also, if you liked these drawings, they will be available as stickers and such on my Redbubble shop. I've talked about before how I just really want to work on updating my Redbubble shop more often in 2020, so I'm hoping to do that, and I'm hoping to make more drawings that you guys see in videos as things available in my Redbubble shop. So there will be a link in the description if you guys are interested in getting these stickers or anything else that I decide to make them as when I upload them. And I would really appreciate it if you could check that out. And I would also really appreciate it if you could subscribe if you're new here. That would be awesome. As of recording this, we're getting very, very close to 60,000 subscribers, and that's amazing. Like, I can't thank you guys enough, so be sure to click the subscribe button if you're new here, because I would definitely appreciate it. I would also appreciate it if you could follow me on any social media. They will be on screen now and linked in the description box below. You could follow me on Instagram if you want. That would be the best place to follow me because I'm most active there, and that's where I post my art. That's where I'll be posting the finished drawings of these. And if you just want to see more sketches and behind the scenes and just me being a dumbass, you can go follow me over there. And you could also watch a video that's on screen now and linked in the iCard if you want. That would be cool too. But I mean, if you want to, no pressure. Okay, I'm very tired. I'm gonna go. I hope you like these drawings, and I will see you next week. Bye.